What if I take all the shapes from Monday's mandala and I dress one of my paper dolls from my base dolls collection? What would happen? Is that going to work? What else can I use the shapes for from Monday's project? Because now that I have that file, what else can I do with it? So let's go. This is going to be a lovely experiment, and we are going to dress this beautiful paper doll. Hi everyone, my name is Mary Lou, and this is Create Junk Journals with Mary Lou. You know, she looks beautiful just like that in her slip, but on that mandala, like those colors just complement her so much. I just love it. And but I am not going to use these colors for this lady. I am going to use the colors that I used on Friday's video. So I have some scrap paper. So I have this paper where I painted gold and then I went over it with walnut ink and other things. And this is just my test paper. And my test paper is actually really cool. So I thought, well, I can probably get some shapes out of that. Then I have, let me just show you which other papers I have. Some I've already been cutting out of. So let's see. I have some tickets. Oops. What do I have here? Sorry, there's one laying here. I have a beautiful damask, floral damask background. Then I have some roses, and you can see it's all going to be a little bit pink. A cream one with some little roses. Just different kinds of vintage documents and some stamps. I have some yarn that is absolutely lovely, and here are all my shapes that I've already cut out. So let's see what I can come up with. The first thing I need to do is I need to ink around her, and I am just going to use walnut ink. I want to start dressing her. So I've been kind of planning this out a little bit while I was cutting the shapes. So I have a little bit of an idea of what I want to do. And I have the shapes here in the containers around me. If you don't know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about these shapes, you will have to go back to Monday's video and I will link it right there so that you can check it out and see what I am what I'm talking about. So I was thinking that I could make a skirt out of this shape. Now we'll have to ink around it so that we get the seam ideas. So if I go, I'm going to put two pieces like that, and I put two pieces kind of like that. I have the base of a skirt. I am going to pull this out. I'm going to zoom you in. I want you to be able to see this properly. Okay, so I'm going to put it like this, I think. But I'm thinking that I need to start in the center and work my way to the edges. And I want to go a little bit lower. Like that. That works for sure. What if I put these behind here? Would that be better? Yes, it would. I think I want to actually go with the aged mahogany. The aged mahogany is like a beautiful kind of a burgundy color, and I think that would look really pretty because I have so many burgundy accents. Yeah, look at that. That is going to make those colors just come out. Look how pretty that is. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. So let's put these back where they were supposed to go. So this one goes in the center, and these go around like that. But I need them to, what I want is I want them to line up somewhat with the bottom of the slip, like that. And then kind of flare out from there. So like that. And then flare out. I am going to take glue and I'm going to glue it right down to her so that I know that it's in the spot where I want it to be. And then I can't move it anymore. So line it up with the bottom of the slip and move it out. Same with this one. Needs to go in that same position. So I need it right about there, just like that. And then the third one is going to go right in the center there. So I'm sticking the point right in between her legs and then pushing it up. And I can slide it down a little bit so that it's a little lower. There we go. There we go. There is the bottom of her skirt. There it is. And I want to put that right there. I may have to cut it down a little bit so that it will fit better, because I want to put these over top of that to kind of form a bodice. So if I, hold on, let me just, see where this is going to sit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this in half because I want the shapes to be completely even. So now it should fit better. Yeah. So just a heart right there. And I'm going to glue, I don't need to ink around it. It is colored enough. And so I'm just gluing it down. And and putting it in position and making sure that the point of the heart comes down to the center. And I've lifted it up a little bit. There we go. I think I have it in the right spot. And then I want these to go like that. And I want them to kind of form a little bit of a broken heart. So it touches in the center and then it goes like that. Glue. And I have not tried this yet. I am just like I've been thinking about this and I have been drawing it and but I have not tried it. So what you saw on Monday and what you are seeing right now is just me playing with these shapes and trying to see what I can do with it. And I wanted to share it with you. So I have no prototype, I have no nothing. I am just testing this as I am going. Because it's great when you create something, but you need to be able to have multiple uses for it. And I think that is a perfect use. Okay. Let's see what else I have. I have a couple of these hearts. I need something that is going to kind of form her bodice. Okay, so I have two of the gold painted ones with the walnut stain, and I'm going to form the bodice out of them. So this is going to go right here, there, and then this one is going to go up a little, maybe I want to go up a little bit like that, and then come down a little bit like that. So you kind of get that gold, kind of a gold hourglass shape. So I'm right away going to glue it down, and I am going to ink this. Paint, or that's not paint, that's glue. Glue. And I want this to sit kind of right there. Just like that. And then, whoops, forgot to ink this one. I need that little bit of burgundy edge, but it doesn't need to be overly burgundy. So I'm just sticking this right there to create the hourglass, and I am trying to get the shape to follow the shape of the body. That's really what I'm trying to do. So I have this shape, and I want this to go right here. You see that? It is now starting to get glued to the paper. So when I put this here, it covers up that top, like this piece. And so I want these edges kind of like right there, like right at that level. So I want this to come like that. And where's all my other shapes? Oh no, I think I want to do it different. Hold on. I have a big tulip shape. And I think I'm going to put the big tulip shape right here. And then this right there. So you get kind of a, where do I want to go? Let's see, can I do it like that? Yes. Okay, so I want it like this. So I want to put this shape right here, and then I want the tulip shape to kind of fall on there where the tulip points fall onto there. And then we have these that are going to go right over top, like that. But I think I need to put something on there first. Ooh, good thing I have more. What else do I have? I have these teardrops. They're a little bit bigger. That might work better. Okay. So if I take this, and I'll put this right, like, oh, whoops, wrong side. If I take this and I put it right here, so I may have to lift the tulip up a little bit. And then make that sit right there. And where's the other one? Right there. And that can go right there. So now I have a little bit of gold, not a lot, but I can fix that with gold paint and everything else. But I have a dress. So what I am going to do is I am going to ink around all these pieces, and then I'm going to glue them down, and then we'll start embellishing. Just remembered I had these butterfly pieces from the mandala, and I think they would look really, really cool on the edge because they have like the beautiful colors. So then you kind of get a little bit extra. That works. So this whole idea started with me thinking, oh my God, I have all these digital papers that I've purchased and I just don't use them, which is such a waste, right? And then I was like, okay, what can I do with them? What would be interesting to do with them? So that's how I came up with this idea. I decided that I wanted to have something that I could print on the back of the digital papers or on my gel prints or on a book page or on a painted paper or a piece of coffee dyed paper. As long as I can push it through the printer, then I can do something with it. And so that is how I came up with the idea of creating all these shapes, right? Mandala shapes that you can then do something different with. And I've just been playing with it and playing with it and playing with it. And I think it is a really neat idea now. And now I'm just testing to see what can I all do with this? Where can I take this? And one of the big ones was, can I dress a paper doll with my shapes, right? And how is that going to look? What am I going to do with that? How am I? So what I am actually doing right now is I am creating pieces for a journal page, for a junk journal page, or a junk journal spread, if you want to call it like that. And I will be creating that on Friday during the live. So right now I'm just creating the big pieces that I won't have time for during the live. And then I can just take them and put them onto the spread. I wanted to use these beautiful dolls to do something like that with. So I'm going to put this heart right there. And this heart over that. So you kind of get a layered effect right there. Or do I want just one kind of coming up like that? I think so. I'm just looking and seeing what looks good, what makes sense, what doesn't. And because all these colors work with each other, they're all complementary to each other or they're matchy. It all just kind of goes blendy. I don't know if that is a word or something to say. Yeah, I will definitely want that. So there's my waistline now. So it looks funky yet really cool. So I need something that is going to come down right here. And I have these, but I don't know if I want those. I have this one left. Can I put this one? right there. I would. Yeah, I can, because then I can put this heart over top, and that kind of would cover. But I don't know if that will look good. The other thing I can do is take this oops, have this piece. What if I put that right here? And I know that looks kind of weird. Do I only have two pieces? I do. Okay. Can I go? What if I put that like that? And then like that, or what if I take that, put it upside down again, don't know if I like that. I have these come out from the bottom of that heart to the tip right there, and then one more that goes right there. That does work, and that actually looks cool. Okay, I'll just ink around these. So you're with me on my journey of, I wonder if this works. What if I did this? And that's the very exciting part about this project, because, now I'm dressing a paper doll. But the other thing I have in mind is, can I make flowers with these shapes? So that is also coming up. And I might be doing that on Friday for sure, because that would be a beautiful project for Friday to create some flowers and make the junk journal spread in my antique album. Okay, I'm going to try and get this lined up so that it kind of lines up towards the heart. Then I'll take these. And of course you can cut your own shapes. You don't have to use my shapes. You can cut your own. But it's pretty handy to have them already together. They're already arranged so that when you're using them, it's all different papers, and there's more shapes that I'm working on to put together. So little by little, I will have all these bits and pieces in my shop. And then do I want to put this over there? I don't think so. No, I don't think that is going to look nice. But I can cover it up with that heart. I'm just going to try it. If it doesn't look good, well, then it doesn't look good. I will put something else over top of it. but I think it does look good. There we go. So I'll have to find some shoes for her in my in one of my paper doll files, but the dress is ready, and I think it is really funky and it looks really cool. Just want to put some embellishments on the dress, and by embellishments I mean like I want to doodle on it. I want to put the straps for the dress on it with the yarn. So pick a little piece of yarn, and let's put a little glue right on her straps there. And right there. So now she has little furry straps. And I think I want to, I don't know, now I think I want to start by outlining all the shapes. And I'm going to do that with a pencil to outline the shapes a little bit more than what they are right now. I'm using a Prismacolor Premier pencil, and I'm using the color Mulberry. So I just want to give it some shading. That's really, so all I'm doing is just giving it a bit of shading around the shapes. It is going to make the shapes stand out a little bit more, and it's going to give the dress more depth. And then that's the nice thing about paper artsy paints, is that you can use Prismacolor Premier pencils on them. And of course the rest is paper, and paper is always good for colored pencils. And I'm just going around in circular motions all the way, so that I'm just forming the shapes out a little bit nicer. And for some reason, I wanted to color this one completely. It looks cool. Okay, right here, some shades. And the outlines, of course. So I'm just using the one color, I'm not using anything more than that. And it is outlining and shading and all of that. And it kind of looks like a little bit of a Cinderella dress here and there. So if you make a boo-boo, you just color over it and pretend that it was always supposed to be like that. And I do think it needs a little bit of black, just because it just needs it. Because it's like almost like a mandala, so it wants the black edges here and there. It wants the black lines inside there. Just like that. And we can go like that. And like that. Like that. And that makes a huge difference in how it looks. You can see that right away. It just makes everything stand out a little bit more. So I'm going to put a little bit more black outlines here. I didn't think I wanted that, but as I was going, I realized that it was going to need it. And I'm not doing a lot of doodling, which, you know, when you're doing a mandala, you're doodling lots, but this is not a traditional mandala. This is a dress. I'm going to zoom you out a bit so you can see better. And I think that she is done. I just have to find the shoes. But I think how absolutely cute is that? So you can see like the creating a mandala like this is one thing. You know, that's what the whole thing was designed for. But I can also, oh, look how beautiful that looks. I can also build a dress for my paper doll out of the shapes. Um, on Friday, I am going to try and build flowers out of the shapes and see how that turns out. So I hope you'll join me for that. That will be a lot of fun. And If you want to craft along with me, you can download the shapes, um, print them out on your own papers, and let's see what we can all come up with. I might print mine out on book pages and music paper so that we get way more. Like the library then builds and builds and builds to where you're using the same shapes over and over, but you're creating them out of different papers. And that's my whole thought process behind this. I want to use as much paper as I possibly can to create shapes like this. So I hope you're going to try it. Give it a shot. See what you come up with, and what you do come up with. I would love to see it. Join me in Mary Lou's Creative Circle and show me what you've made. I want to know. I want to see. I want to celebrate what we can make. I want to celebrate our creativity. Hope you enjoyed this video. I definitely really enjoyed this project. I think this is one heck of a beautiful doll. And I hope you are in agreement with that, with me on that. I'm going to put a little bit of black edge all the way along the dress, just because that way it just stands out a little nicer. There we go. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I hope I'll see you on Friday during the live, where I'll be creating a journal spread with all of this. I may have a second doll by then that I will have also dressed, so we'll have to wait and see on where I am at on Friday. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.